Hi there. Today I will show how to add lightning to skates. I have already added it to one of those, but we will do the same thing for the second one. Here are some tools that are needed. Basic soldering tools like soldering iron, the soldering wick, knife, tin, some pliers, and the isolation tool, and also double-sided tape for attaching stuff. And parts that we will need are Raspberry Pi Pico. This is the one that came out, I think, in January this year, and it's already very popular. It has their own chip, RP2040. It's similar to Arduino, and we will use it as a brain of the thing we're building. One thing we need to take care of is power delivery, and for that there is a nice thing called Pico Shim LiPo. This provides both power and charge to lithium battery. Normally it will go, see this button and chip drawing, and it will go like that via some pins, but we will solder it the other way around, so we can use the flat surface to connect it to the skate. And next things are batteries. I'm using some lithium batteries. They are nice because they have already soldering pads. They look like capacitors, but they are actually lithium batteries. I don't remember the exact capacity. It should be few watt hours. Next thing is lightning itself. This is the NeoPixel or WS2128B or something like that. I like them because they are individually addressable. They are very popular, so there are already libraries supporting that, and the interface is just 3 wires, so it's power, ground, and signal. And extra feature would be adding the 10 degree of freedom sensor. Actually, we will be using right now 3 degrees of freedom actually, so we will be using acceleration info to change the color, but all data will be available in the code, so other modes can be used. This is MPU 9250 actually, and this has this MEMS device, micro electromechanic something, this black chip. There are all the sensors are there, and it has I2C protocol, and we luckily need only that, so we need power, ground, and clock and data line for I2C. We will need also some gold pins to connect modules together. Power cable, cables to the light strip, and one extra cable to connect. You will see what it will be for. Okay, so let's power up the soldering iron. It's already heating up. We can start by preparing cables. So I really recommend getting that kind of pliers for specialized, for actually easy, fast and easy isolation removal. Of course, you can do it by any tool you like, but for that it's like just extra quick and easy. And so let's tin them so they will be easier to solder. And that way I just touch it with the highest possible area so that heat is transport, and then I apply tin directly to the wire, so we end up with a nice and complete wire. Yeah. Okay, so what next? We can also usually this module has this connector for standard battery connector, but since I will be mounting it like that, and here will be second module, I won't have access to it, and I also want to bring it a bit closer. I will need to desolder this socket. This is actually the most annoying part of all the job, because you just need the soldering wick. This is attached on 4 points. There are 2 like up front, they are like holding it, and then there are 2 on the back which are providing the signals. So I will start with trying to desolder the front ones. One trick in desoldering is actually adding more tin at the beginning, so then you have nice big blob of tin, which should be easier to sag by the desoldering wick. Let's try it. I'm applying a bit of force, so relying on plasticity of the back contact just to, yeah. So now I desoldered that harder parts, so now only, oh, they're actually broke off. Okay, let's cover the pads with the fresh tin. And for that we will add the power cable. Let's desolder just the remove just the tip of isolation. We have removed the isolation. Let's cover it with tin again. They are a bit thicker. They don't need to be that thick, but that's the cable I had. cable I had. Let's fill it with tin. Yeah. And now I'm actually also using the part of this this double-sided tape as a kind of work area. It's slightly sticky and it's actually quite old, so it lost its thickness, but so let's solder the power connector. Since it's all filled with tin, it should be quite easy. I think it's okay. Could have been better, but let's just a bit more. Okay. And prepare batteries. I will glue them also using this tape. Just putting just a bit of this tape, cutting it off. The disadvantage of this tape is that it's really hard to cut through. It's like a bit of rubbery. Yeah, so we have a piece of tape. Okay. We will be joining batteries in parallel, so plus to plus, minus to minus. Maybe just like so we are sure that they are the same height. Okay, we can as always add some tin, this time to the legs. Yeah. Actually, I will not solder this here to now, but first I will connect these two components. So I will be using the gold pins, and I will be doing it like that. And now I can use the tape. So I can just the first leg on each side is harder because of course we don't have nothing to, it's not sticking, we only rely on gravity, but gravity helped us. So let's just first start with only one leg on each side. Yeah, you see it's all wiggly. And, yeah. Only one side and on this second side. Yep. Now we can see how straight it went. No, yeah, as you can see, I was too much in a hurry, but yeah. Well, since I have only one leg soldered, I can always put my soldering iron here and like move it into the correct place, and then hold it until the tin cools down and solidifies. Okay, so it looks like we have, just to double check. Yep, it's pretty tight, so, and pretty straight, so we can solder other legs just one by one. Just hitting, the best is to hit at the same time both the leg and the pad, then that way they're all hot and the tin is sticking to both of them. Actually, it's not sticking, it's diffusing or something like that. I guess Wikipedia can tell more about that than I can. Yep, one side done, and another side. Okay. Okay. So I have all soldered. Yep. And I could solder it to the Pi Pico. There is this button that's used for firmware update. Because of that, and it will be quite hidden. And so because of that, I want to remove this black plastic, and just for it to look consistent, I will remove it on both sides. So again, knife comes handy, and just like softly trying to pull it away. A bit on the one side, a bit on the other side. Once it's started going off, I can try to use fingernails. No, that's be extra boring unless I cut this part off. But I mean cut the part of the video, not the part of the actual part. But yeah, it's moving. And of course I could have removed it earlier, but then it will be very hard to solder them straightly one by one. Yep, and I have one side. So my phone decided to stop recording, and it's good because I already removed the second one. Now I want to connect them, and I don't want those pins to stick out, so again I try to make it as flat as possible, and let's just try to catch it and let's see how it goes. I think it's quite okay. Maybe it could be a little bit less on this side. So yep, something like that. Let's catch it on the other side also. I think it's okay. So now again, all those legs. Side. I think it will be okay. They are slightly sticking out, but it's like just a bit, and they are, just to be safe, I will fill it on this side also, just like with the tiniest possible amount. This is not strictly necessary, but I might as well add it. It's quite okay, I would say. I feel them slightly a bit under my fingers, but with this tape it should hold on to them. Okay, now the gyro module. We are interested in these first 4 pins, and luckily in Pi Pico the ground pin, you can see this ground pin is for example, 3rd from the top. It's squared instead of being round. It's always followed by clock and data for I squared c. So if we mount it like this, for example, so that GND, let me check on the other one. Yep, like that. So if let's add this, so that, and then like that, then you can solder it, and then we will only need to take care of power supply. So just like before, start with one leg, make sure everything is straight-ish. Yep. I would say it's okay. Solder 2 more legs. Remove the separator, just so it looks the same as the other module. With 3 legs it's much simpler. And again, we need to do this in the air soldering. Let's check. Nope, that's too much, standing out too much. No. It should be okay. So let's just make sure it's quite flat. And solder 2 other legs. How it looks on the bottom, I would say okay. Okay, and now the VCC pin itself. So that's what this spare cable is. Just I'm doing something wrong. Yep. On the one side and on the other side, and again putting tin on it. Side, not too much tin. Now it's definitely too much, so I will use probably this end because I want it to be able to pass this through here. Yep, it's not going through, so probably too much of tin. Let's clean the tape and try to make it smoother. Maybe now we will see. Yep, it went through, so I can solder it. And the other part will go to V6, so it's the second pin. So I will just solder it this way, just to the second one, so I can shorten it a bit, just so it's like extra. Let's see whether it will be enough. Okay, let's put some tin on this second leg so we can connect it easier. And just like that. Okay. What now? Maybe the cables to the lighting itself. Let me just take a look how I did it on the previous one. Okay. Okay, so it will be power, so with the same pin that we've just soldered to. So let's solder the second cable. Let's see how it went. Okay, I would say. So now the signal one. The signal, I decided to go for GP28. It's also on this ladder of gold pins. So let's put some on it. And solder it there. I think I will shorten it just a bit, just to make sure that it doesn't short circuit into another pin next to it, because it's ground, so I don't want it to go to the ground, because then it won't pass the signal. looks like it's connected, and the ground. Ground, for example, third one is ground, so we can put some solder on the pin and connect the cable. Again, let's cut it just a bit. And put it here. Okay. Okay, so now let's do the power connection. I will go just like for isolating, just so I can connect to both of batteries, so it will be something like that long. Should be okay. Didn't went through. Yep. I can try to swirl them together so it will be easier to solder them. As always, first let's put some tin on them. It's heating, yep, it's heating. So they are thick, so they will drink a lot of tin. So let's do this. Let's see whether it's heating. Yep, it's heating. Just so it's everywhere. Okay, nice and thick. And then I will put it, I think, like that. Plus is red, minus is black. Let's not rebel here. Just do it as standard goes. The length is quite okay, I would say, so let's solder it. This shouldn't happen, I just short-circuited battery and you may have seen some sparkles. You shouldn't do it, especially with lithium batteries, because they are capable of quick discharge, which means there is a lot of energy, which means there is a high risk of fire. But so don't play with lithium batteries. Okay, we can do a short test. One else nice thing that this thing adds is a power button. Yep, it seems to be working, because the white LED means that it has the power. So we can try to add the light strip. Let's prepare it. I hope they won't be too short. But we will see. Okay, let's see how this goes. As they are addressable, they have in and out, and the arrows are pointing from in to out, and I remember that the top one was minus, but let's double check. Yep, the arrow is ground. I left just a bit of a pad here. Let's hope it will be enough to solder it. So just cover it with tin, maybe clean that tip again, because there's always something building up on it. Yep. Here. And on the bottom, so we just have more grip. It's a good thing that it shouldn't move after being put in place, so it's not in risk of falling off, but we need at least some grip. Let's see whether it will be enough. And solder it. Minus or ground. I've never seen minus in English literature. In Poland we just say minus and plus. In electronics I think it's power and ground, something like that. Ah, not here. It's power. I should have put signal here. Not a lot of place to grip. Maybe I will add more tin just to the signal bit, so it just to make sure it sticks. Let's see. I can also grip from this. Okay, so we can do some testing. Let's power on. It should boot up, and in a few seconds, yep, they're lightning. And as you can see, the color depends on the angle of the device itself. So if something stopped, I don't know why. Let's turn it off and on again. It's working. It's still working. Oh, and it stopped. I wonder why. I will need to take a look at it. Let's try it again. It's working, it's changing colors. Okay, I don't know what was it. I need to take an eye on it, whether it appears again. You can turn off the soldering iron for now. And as always, when you turn off the soldering iron, the next moment something comes up that proves that it was too early to turn off the soldering iron. But let's take our device and add this double-sided magic tape. I don't know what's that exactly. There is some nano magic added to it. It's like, it's sticky, but it does not have a glue, so I assume that's some small, I don't know, sucking structures or something like that that's having a grip. But the good thing is it stays quite good, especially if it's when it's freshly cut and it's just like cut and attached without catching too many dust from the air. I shouldn't do that. Let's see whether it works after this crash like that. Yeah, it still seems to be working. Okay. And another piece of this. Okay. Let's cut it out. Yep. Okay. This thing is ready to be attached. Let's put a nice big chunk of tape here. Tape is catching everything, but it cut what it has to cut. Okay, and some on the battery. Let's see, I will go like this, so I will knit on this side some tape. Just like that. Yep. So our device seemed to be ready, and now I could mount it on a skate. But before, maybe let's do some cleaning. Abracadabra! And it's clear. So we can proceed. This one already has it. And Moxies are quite nice because this space is just like tailored, like especially made for Raspberry Pi Pico, because it just has the just right amount of space. Okay, so we'll start with putting it here. Maybe let's do it like this. So remove the protective film from the double-sided tape. Slide it carefully not to touch anything because it has a nice grip, especially when it's clear. Okay, and it's there. Now the batteries. The batteries will go like this, so we can pulling this off. Just gluing it. It's not supposed to be used outside, that's why it's not isolated anything. It's not dangerous for, like, I don't know, touching. I can of course touch it. It's like it's like 4 volts, so it's not making any harm. And the last thing is the lightning strip itself. It's just fitting just right like this. Let's do it. I don't like how they are a bit strained here, but let's see. that, and the second strip, and it's there. So we can now turn it on. Wait a bit. Yep, and here it goes. Now we have two of those lightning changing colors ready to be skated. That would be it. Let me know if you want to know more, if you want to know about software. I skipped this bit because there is a lot of material about software. If you want, let me know if you want to know what exact parts are those. I can put them in the description. But for now, let's see whether like anybody would view this video and became inspired and want to replicate it. Thanks.